Hello and welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to take a look through some of the games that I've pulled off of my shelf, and we're going to see how much I paid for them back in the early 2000s. Now, the way that we're going to find out how I did this was a very strange thing that I used to do back when I was a teenager and still find myself doing as of today. So if we're going to take one of these copies, let's say Metroid Prime here, the way that we're going to find out how much I paid for something is, if you can see in here, we had a store called Electronics Boutique that had price tags on the side of the game here, $29.99. But not only that, the thing that I used to do as a teenager and I still find myself doing as an adult with games is, once I bought it, I used to put the receipt right inside the cover. And now this is a receipt dated in 2004 at a place called Electronics Boutique, which is GameStop, but in Canada. You can see here I paid $26.99, which I guess was a little bit lower with the Edge card. Yeah, discount $3. You save $10 buying pre-owned. We're going to take a look at how much some of these games are worth today compared to how much I paid for them. So stay tuned and find out if I made some money or I lost a bunch of money. So let's start with the Metroid Prime. Like we said, we're looking at $26.99, and out the door cash was $31. Next, we're looking at a game called Vampire Knight. This was a shooter on the PlayStation 2 that I really enjoyed. I had a good friend of mine who owned it, and I had never heard of it before. And you can see that it's all scratched out, the price emblem there that was on it. But on the inside, of course, I have the receipt. And here it says that it was dated in 2004 by a salesman named Rob. And I paid a whole whopping $8.99. This is a complete and copy game, so we can see, and let's see if I made any money. Need for Speed Black Edition was one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 2. I had so much fun playing this game. The BMW in it was made to be super fast, and the guy in the getaway, and of course everybody in Need for Speed always loved Most Wanted, getting away from the cops and having the heat mechanic from the police and stuff like that. But as you can see, I have the receipt on the inside, and it was sold to me back in 2007 by somebody named Albert for the whopping price of $24.99. Let's see if I made or lost any money. Now here's an interesting little one. This is the Game Boy Advanced Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town. And this is a copy that I bought quite a long time ago. It is a perfect but opened game here. And what's really funny is I bought it from a local Walmart that I had. And if you go on the inside, I did this with a lot of games that I owned when I was young. I have this little teeny tiny receipt from Walmart. And it says it was purchased for $39.86 back in, when was the purchase date? In 2004. So again, we're going to see if I made any money on a complete in-box version of Friends of Mineral Town. Now this is an interesting little title. Conker's Bad Fur Day, The Pocket Tales. As you can see, the sticker up there reads $22.99. I do not have the receipt, but this is the price that I paid at my local game store for this game. Like I said, there's no receipt on the inside, but I knew that Conker's Bad Fur Day was an amazing game on the N64, but I had no clue that it was for a Game Boy Color. So I picked it up right away when I found it, and it was in the discount bin for $22.99. Let's see if I made any money. Here's another one that we got. It was Sonic Heroes for the GameCube. I did purchase this brand new, and you can see the sticker on there shows a very expensive price of $64.99. And on the inside, it does show the receipt of this. In 2004 for $74.74 back when it came out. Now, I did just come off of playing Sonic 2 Battle and had the idea that this game was going to be something like it, and it totally did not. And let's see how much money I ended up losing on this game. I wanted to throw in a copy of something newer that I got in the past few years. Now, this is Silent Hill 2. This is a game that's going for quite a bit of money nowadays, complete in box. But I did get it just a few years ago. As you can see, complete in box. This is the Black Art Edition, not the greatest hits. And I got it from a game store up in Barrie called Power Up Gaming. Now, I did a trade-in credit for this game, but you can see that it was marked at $70. I don't know if it's going to focus there or not, but it was marked for $70 for a complete in box. And this was in 2019 in July. So we're going to see how much of a difference that's made over the time that was just before COVID hit. So we're going to find out how much of a difference it made. And now, last but not least, this is my copy of Chrono Trigger. It is not a complete in box edition. It only has one of the two maps and does not have the manual. It is in rough shape. As you can tell, there's lots of creases and dings and whatnot inside it. It did come with the cartridge as well, and it is a NTSC legitimate copy of Chrono Trigger. And I bought this back on eBay years ago, and I actually sent an offer to a buy it now that had a submit offer on it, and I bought this for only $110. And I think it's one of the biggest scores that I've had on eBay ever. I knew that Chrono Trigger was going to continue climbing. This was when the DS version of it released, and I had just picked up the DS version and started playing it and knew that it was the classic that everybody talked about. So I went ahead, went online, and I found one sorry seller who sold it to me for just over 100 Canadian dollars. Now, for those of you in the outlook of 2020 and 2022 and 2023 and later, wondering if you can really still find some deals while in your local game stores and game hunting, I'd like to show you these. And these are a copy of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now, this was just a few years ago. I noticed something about Pokemon. Pokemon was really blowing up, and nobody was really taking advantage of these 3DS games. Now, I have the receipt as I bought both of these at the exact same time. Again, this was in my EB Games, and it just turned into GameStop just over 2 years ago. So this was just a few years ago that I bought these. I bought it from a cashier named Michelle, and this was dated 2020. And you're going to see here that I bought each copy for $17.99. And that is in 2020. So $40 got me both copies of Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. You have to be very diligent when it comes to these game stores, because now these types of Pokemon games are going for massive amounts of money in comparison to just 3 years ago. All in all, looking back on how I did on all of these games was pretty good. And I've got to say that collecting way back when, without the use of price charting and knowing that some games were much rarer than others and not really expecting some things to go up in value or so high in value and rarity, that buying video games back in the 2000s and early 2010s, early 2000 teens was a very different time where a lot of flea markets were still offering very good deals, and everybody on Facebook Marketplace didn't think that they had absolute gold like they do today. You could find deals just about anywhere if you were willing to look for them. It wasn't really a hobby about making money or trying to buy and resell an item for something that you bought for much cheaper. It was for the value and the love of what you were playing and being happy with what you had. So, looking back, I'm still happy I have all these things. I do not plan on letting go of any of these titles anytime soon. I just thought I'd take a quick look while I had some of the receipts and the price tags on some of these games from back when I was a teenager into a young adult. So, thanks very much for tuning in and hope you enjoyed.